you got to understand that if you don't know, now you know. New Year's is a huge deal here, right? And for you to be invited to do any New Year's activities by your partner is a huge deal, right? And like, let's say you're talking to somebody and you kind of want to, y'all dating or whatever, and either you get the feeling she's like is starting to go way too serious with you, or you want to take things to the next level, and you want to gauge that, like probably around now, this time of year, late November, maybe even October, probably. It's a little bit late in the game for it, but like October, September, even if you're dating a person, let's say around a year, start asking about their New Year's plans, right? That will either give her the idea that you're starting to be serious about the relationship, maybe even wanting to meet her family, or if she brings it up to you, like, oh, well, why don't you come meet my family or something like that, that lets you know, like, she's thinking about you as a potential life partner. This is not like, let's just come hang out with my folks and watch the game, and have some food. This is like, hey, this is, if you might not have heard it, this is my future potential husband. We're on the rails, we're on the road to marriage land, and I'm introducing him to you guys. This is the first stop. So don't take that lightly if she brings it up, or if you start to feel like it's starting to get too hot in the kitchen for you and you don't really want something that serious, I would recommend you just kind of like test the waters a little bit and see if it comes up, and then be like, oh, yeah, no, I just was curious about it or something, and back off, however you want to play it. But if she starts like trying to feel you out to come meet her family, she's trying to pull you into marriage land, right? That's a really, really important thing to be aware of. Again, nothing to be scared of, but just you gotta be aware, like that's really what's going on. Cause I know this guy, and I was telling my mother-in-law this story too. I know this dude, and again, I won't say where I know him from, but he is going through a similar situation. He just started dating this girl, like this year, like less than 6 months ago. And he's really getting really close and cozy with her family, and spending nights over with her family, and her peoples are saying, yeah, come on through. And his girlfriend's like, hey, you should come on over to the house, and you should spend the New Year's with us. And it's like, um um they're pulling you into marriage. And I think, like, his situation, it's probably because of his that family's well off, and she wants a kid. She wants a mixed kid. It's kind of, I get kind of Gaijin Hunter vibes from her, just from knowing him and hearing the stats of the relationship. That's what the feeling that I'm getting. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So let me give you just a rundown of some of the basic things you're gonna need to be aware of, like when you're going there. If you've never experienced, if you don't really know too much about New Year's Eve here in Japan and the family side of it. So it's not, remember, like for me, I don't know if I said it here. I said it on the podcast maybe in the past. New Year's in Japan is my favorite holiday here, because America, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And the vibe of those two is very much similar. It's a family oriented house party type vibe. And that's what you're really going to be stepping into. So, um, um but there's more of a structure to it. And the main thing to realize too, which it clicked in me a couple years ago, that in America, I'd say, like, if you split midnight, right, the stroke of midnight down the middle, the majority of the action in America happens before midnight. Before midnight, we're counting down, we're drinking champagne, we're celebrating the end of this year. Is kind of what we're really doing. Japan is the opposite. The After the stroke of midnight is where the not 90%, but like 80% of the activity really happens, right? The celebration really happens afterwards. So before, we're kind of preparing for midnight. So it's really like kind of quiet. Osoji is what we're doing. I'm cleaning the house. I've been started cleaning stuff, changing stuff, washing stuff, doing a whole bunch of other stuff, maintenance and stuff like that around the house. And then all that ends at midnight, and then you move into New Year's. So um, there's, for example, if you do spend time, if you're spending the holidays with your in-laws, you're getting married. There's no way around it, right? If if you're spending the night around New Year's, that's a huge deal. Okay. If you're just going to visit, you're on the path to marriage. Let me just say that, right? But if you're in yeah, sorry, I'm just checking back and forth to make sure the stream is okay. Um, where am I? So New Year's Eve, we have a few things that you're going to need to do, right? The most important thing is you're going to eat toshikoshi soba, which is, if you had like Japanese soba, it's just Japanese soba, right? It's just soba. That's all it is. It's just noodles. You eat it. It's significant for like having a long life going to the next year and stuff like that. So just eat the noodles, right? Okay, don't even if you don't like them so much, like just eat them. Okay, whatever gets thrown your way, just eat it. Don't put up a fuss, right? Because you're gonna be rude. Okay, you're gonna get the noodles. That's the thing. You might get some ozoni after midnight. You're probably gonna get a lot of alcohol. If you're not a drinker, let it be known way beforehand that you don't drink. Don't just show up and be like, "I'm good," because if you drink, your relatives are gonna be like, "We're drinking together," and depending on the area, they're gonna want to drink a lot. I was getting wasted. Like it was just like, oh, you're the foreign guy. Oh yeah, you can drink. Come on over here. The drinkers are like, come on over here, sit down, and we got blasted. I mean, I had a great time, but so that's basically that. Watching the countdown, stuff like that. New Year's Day, New Year's morning, you're gonna probably have ozoni. Depending on the area, it's different recipes. I like it here. It's just like mochi, which is pounded rice cake in some soup. It's good. I love it. It's bomb. Sometimes a little chicken, how they do it here. It is good. Then comes the osechi, right? The osechi, you just power through osechi. It's just like the traditional Japanese New Year's food. You're supposed to eat it for 3 days. I am not a fan of it, like at all. I don't think you'll be a fan of it. It's just a lot of different stuff. It's just traditional preserved Japanese food. I don't think some people like it just from tradition, but a lot of people don't. They just eat it just because of what it is. But yeah, it's not good, right? Okay, so just take a few things, just shove it in your mouth, down it with some alcohol, and that'll be it. I look for like the ham or like the meats and stuff like that, and then that's normally okay. But trust me, everything. If you Google osechi, Osechi, again in the future, I'll have things set up a bit more. Maybe in the replay when I cut this into clips, you'll probably see it somewhere around here. But everything tastes completely different than it looks, so you're not really gonna enjoy what you taste because it's just like completely different than our like Western palates are used to. So it's really preserved with a lot of sugar, a lot of like I don't know, whatever. Anyway, um, then you're also gonna deal with New Year's money. You're gonna have the house parties thing comes. You're gonna have relatives coming in, little kids or teenagers get New Year's money. As a guest, you're not gonna need to deal with that until you're actually married. Then that becomes between you and your partner how you divvy up paying your in-laws, kids, cash. But then when you have kids, they pay your kids cash. It's just a Japanese thing. Like you just gotta like accept it, right? Um, there's Ekiden, which is the relay marathon. There's also soccer on. You just gotta watch it. You just the TV's on. You're just watching stuff, right? Just watching stuff, drinking. There's a bunch of food out. Not all of it is gonna be to your liking. But people will tell you you don't have to eat whatever you don't want because Japanese people don't really push stuff on you, but they kind of push stuff on you. So so just eat what you can. Maybe talk to your girlfriend beforehand and ask her like what kind of food there's going to be, tell her what kind of food you like, what kind of food you don't like to eat, so that beforehand, so that you're not just surprised and they give you a whole bunch of stuff and you're just like, I don't like any of this crap. Like that's gonna that's like the worst case scenario, right? um there are some games, some depending on the situation, there are games that you might play with the family, like card games, board games, kids playing video games, like, might go outside and do some stuff. Then you're going to have to take a visit to the shrine, probably at some point, to pray. Depending on the area, it might be busy, it might not be. Everyone might be looking at you all crazy. Your girlfriend is going to have her arm around you super tight because it's like, this is my man, and more than likely it's the community she grew up with. So everyone's gonna know her, and everyone's gonna know her family. They're gonna be greeting people, and it's like, oh, this is the foreign guy, the future husband kind of guy. So you're being set up for all these things. Not set up in a negative way, but that's just the way things are moving in that direction, right? And you just gotta be prepared for it. You can't just be wishy-washy, like, no, we're just hanging out. And they're kind of introducing you to all their whole community, and then like 4 months later you're like, whatever, I'm not feeling you, I want some space, and I don't show up next year and we break up. Like, that's totally not a cool thing. I would say, like, if you're going to New Year's, just be prepared to be in it for life, blood in, blood out, like I said, like the mafia, right? That's what making you a made man. Think about it like that, and then you'll be all right. um there is one exception to New Year's Day. If there's a death in the family that year, like a relative or some significant death in the family, the host family doesn't have a New Year's party, right? So that's like the only situation where that's really an issue. But yeah, I think those are like the main things you're gonna really need to know.